I'm so glad to see you all here in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. My husband, who is from Boston, Massachusetts, is going to bring the North and the South together on this little corner to make a real difference in our community. That's what I do. I am a Superior Court judge here. I'm one of 14 in the state of North Carolina, 14 women, and 7 blacks and 7 whites. I am a graduate of North Carolina Central University. Our HBCU. As you can see, I did the whole HBCU experience. I played Delta while I was there, and did everything I was big enough and bad enough to do in my hometown, and still came out with honors with a math degree. Left there and went back to school, Central. I'm a 2-time Eagle grad and graduated law school in 1991. Probably most of you were not even born. Barely. So I've been doing my job now for about 20 years. I just got to the Superior Court level about 3 years ago. Before then, I was a district court judge, and just so you know with North Carolina how we operate as judges, at the district court level you handle misdemeanors and that kind of thing. At the Superior Court level, I am a felony trial judge, so like Michael Dunn was being tried, that's what I do. That's the kind of judge I am, is a judge that tried that kind of case. And I am the first female in Durham. God has been real good. Now, I'm not taking any credit for any of the things that have happened in my life. It is only because of God's grace and His mercy that I am where I am.
The first in 100 years.
So, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to the young men and the young women. I don't really have a whole lot of time to talk to children. I want to talk to the young men and the young women. And I want to take about 15 minutes. And I've talked to some of your leaders to figure out who I'm talking to, because it's no good in trying to talk to an audience and you can't relate. You need to be able to relate. And so I understand that most of you all are probably like myself, going to be first generation college grads, perhaps the first ever in your family to go. Like myself, you come from the inner city or thereabouts. You might be a single parent or come from a single parent household. How many of us have somebody in jail, on drugs? We do the black thing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story, and you'll begin to understand why it is that I don't really have time to talk to anybody but the young adults, the young men, and the young women. I'm going to talk to you about my 3 sons. And my 3 sons got 3 different daddies. They also have 3 different mamas. But each one of my sons is my son. They have spent time in my house. I have raised them. I have nurtured them. I have loved them. One of my sons you see here tonight, Macklin. Macklin is my middle boy. He is the manager of this restaurant. There he is right there. That's Macklin. My youngest son is Corbin. Corbin is a junior at South Carolina State University. And my oldest son, Greg, is in prison. He's serving what they call a life sentence for first-degree murder. My story takes this turn too. My oldest boy never pulled a trigger. But he and the 15-year-old shooter, there were 5 of them, got life. My son had 2 trials, not one, both in the building that I work in. Both tried by people who were my co-workers. The second trial that he had, first trial ended in a hung jury. Second time that he was tried, and I don't really tell this story publicly because it's too personal. But I'm at the point now where I've seen too many lives, too many kids lost, too many black young men that don't know that don't understand that it is real and it can happen to you in the twinkling of an eye. Your parent or your significant other could be me. And I'm telling you, don't nobody want to be me. So the second trial he had, it was during the Duke lacrosse case. Everybody in here probably heard about the Duke lacrosse case.
Yes.
Well, the Duke lacrosse case was a big murder, a big rape case where it was a black young lady accusing 5 white boys of raping her. At the same time, one of the lawyers was my son's lawyer. And it was just the opposite with him. It was 5 black boys accused of killing an 89-year-old white woman. So both of these are going on at the same time on my job. And at that time, I was chief district court judge. The first trial, I had the opportunity to run away and kind of hide and hold court somewhere else. But the second time he was tried, I was chief. So as chief, you're responsible for all the administrative part of the system. So I couldn't leave because I was in charge. So my office was on the 6th floor. My son being tried in the courtroom just about directly below me for first-degree murder. So I take a break from court and go down and see what was going on, and I testified. And he was found guilty and sentenced to life at 18. So when I take off that judge thing right there, I'm your typical black mama with a son in jail. And every month or thereabout, I make a trip to the prison. I'm searched just like everybody else. I'm watched just like everybody else. And the thing about my position is, if I say or do anything to try to impact this situation, they say it's the judge doing it. It's a conflict for me. So basically, I have been silenced by my job to try to help my child. So if I can't help my child the way I want to, I have to be able to help you all. Because of my 3 boys, my manager boy, my college boy, my prison boy, none of them got to go on the college tour. So I asked you today, why do you think you were born? Why were you born?
Common sense.
Out of all the sperm and eggs that were going on in the intimate part that created you, why you? Why did you become from that sperm and that egg? Why you? Then why were you born black? Why were you born black male? Why were you born black female? And why born now? You could have been born 100 years ago, 200 years in the future. Why now? And then why are you sitting in this downer tonight? Why are you on this tour? I would tell you that it is not because of your sin. Everybody in here was born with a purpose from a designer. In my opinion, he's called God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit all in one. I don't try to put that on anybody. You have to take that for what it is. But I believe there is an ultimate creator who designed you for a specific purpose to impact mankind in a positive way, particularly your community. Your community. Otherwise, you could have been white, Indian, Jewish, whatever. But you were born at this particular time with a purpose that only you will be able to know, with a purpose for mankind that only you can do. If you don't do it, it won't get done. And I'm here to tell you, young people, that there are a whole lot of people who never, ever, never realize their purpose. As a matter of fact, most won't. Because they think it's about them. That is not. Now, we all like to have fun. We all like to do what we do. But right now, I'm telling you, the state that I see from Black America, from the perspective as a black mother, and then from the perspective as a judge for 20 years, when every day I go into court, every day I go into court, every day I go into court, all I see are black men and women. You have been called out and chosen. And I'm telling you, it's serious business. This is just not a fun tour. It is called making a life choice and a life difference, irregardless of what you come from, because we all came from slavery. We all still very much poor. We all have our struggles. You hear me? Everybody would like to think, they always like, oh, that's the judge, that's the judge. Oh, boo. You don't know my story. You don't know my pain. And nobody gave me that title. God allowed me to work His path, but it's painful. Do you know how painful it is for your child to be tried on one floor and you trying other people on another floor? And then when I see the black young people come in, all they can care about is what they got on their back, what kind of clothes they wearing, playing this Atlanta housewife role, or the pro basketball pro team. That ain't real. A lot of that's not real. What you're doing now is real. Not everybody will be a Michael Jordan, or Oprah Winfrey, or the basketball star. Not everybody. Everybody can do something to help our people. Because when I tell you we dying out there, we are literally dying. And guess who's doing the killing? We have done something to ourselves that slavery was never able to do. And that was take away our sense of excellence, our sense of purpose, our sense of understanding that the only thing they gave us was education. And when we take an education, they can't never take it away from me. I got my math degree. I got my law degree. They can take that black robe. They can't take what's in my head. That's damn. Babe, I know the law now. I learned it. So you can't give me no titles. And that's what you got to do. You got to make up in your mind, irregardless of what your circumstance is, because it's not easy. It's always going to be trials and tribulations. But it's in the valley where you do your learning. Life is not a series of mountaintop events. Most of it you spend in the valley, so that when you get to the mountain, you'll appreciate it. You'll understand. But then you go right back down in the valley. But you got to do some more learning. So I'm telling you, young people, whether you're in the 8th grade, the 9th grade, the 10th grade, the 11th grade, the 12th grade, you need to start thinking about, why was I born? Why was I born black in America? Why was I born a black female? Why was I born a black man at this time in our history? And why am I on a college student? Why am I being prepped for what most don't get? Don't take it for granted. You're being called out. Everybody in here, under the sound of my voice, has been called out. And now you're held accountable because you're hearing. And there are witnesses to hearing it. So now you're held accountable. You cannot go back to New York the same mindset. You're coming, so they are showing you that you have the potential to be a leader, a great leader. And it doesn't have to be the one with the headlines, but it does have to be something that will impact the life other than your own and your family. It's bigger than that. You got to be able to walk up to a black man and not think he going to